Good morning traders and welcome to today's live trading. Today is the 7th of February. We are on the FTSE 100 as usual. Let me run you through my bands for today. You can see we've currently got one around the 7150 level where price is currently sat. I've marked another one in up at 7180 and I've got one a little bit below down at sort of 7105. So those are the immediate bands that I've got. Now, as far as immediate trade setups go, let me show you what's happened on the FTSE. In the last week, you can see that we've had a tremendous run up on the FTSE so far over the last few days. We've just come into this level now. We're looking at consolidating again. That ATMA is now caught up with price, like we discussed last week, where sometimes when price gets a bit too extended, it does just wait for the ATMA to come and meet it, which is basically what's happened here. So yeah, the bullish momentum does look really good on the FTSE at the moment. The band I would be most keen to short from would be this one all the way up at 7234. I haven't even marked it in because we're just below 100 points away from that, so we might not get there today. But that is one I would be definitely looking at taking a short from. If it did get up to there today, it would be a particularly good day. We'd obviously be a bit extended if we did get up there today, and we have got today's R3 in there, so more confluences for that trade if it does happen. But I don't think we're likely to get there today, so as usual I will be just waiting for price to come into the bands, and I'll be watching how price reacts and going from there really. So we're about just over 5 minutes to the open. I'm going to grab a drink and I will catch up with you later. Alright, so we're just coming up to 10 past 9. We're actually 10 past 9 now. I'm going to put a sell signal just below this candle, the 905 candle. So it's got a low of 7174.5, so I want to be in at 73.3. So I'm just going to enter that now quickly. 73.3 and submit that. Okay, so that order's in. So it's just, we're just below this candle here, this one. And if it does start coming down, then obviously we'll be triggered in. So basically what I'm looking at is, obviously this is one of the support and resistance bands that I talked about this morning. You can see we've had a couple of good reactions yesterday from this level. And we have just sort of within the last 10 minutes hit the yesterday's close price. Now obviously if it's going to want to carry on going up, then so be it. I'm not going to be able to stop it, but at least it's got a way to come down to trigger me in, you know, before I'm in the position. Basically if price keeps going up from here, then I just don't get triggered. You know, the trade doesn't lose because it never gets entered into. So I think somebody commented on the video last week asking why I do that, and that's basically one of the reasons. It serves as an extra step of confirmation, you know, before getting into a trade. Like at the very minimum, I want to see price come down and past this point before I get short. So yeah, that's why that sort of mechanism is there. Not too much to discuss really this morning. We opened the big green candle you can see there, the wick on it. It's sort of grinded its way up past this 200 and the pivot, and then once it's got up there, it's moving a bit freer into this band. The one concern I have with this trade is that we've not tested the ATMA since reaching this band, but that's the only thing I think I saw standing in the way really of this trade. There's room to trade down towards this particular band here. We actually wouldn't need to come all the way down to the band to make this a profitable trade. I think I'd be looking more around the 200 level and in line with these sort of mini highs over here. So more towards sort of 10 to 12 points. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously the trade has got to trigger first, so what I'll do is I'll bring the ticket across so you can see it, and then we'll see whether it gets triggered or not. Right, so coming up to, we've just gone 10 to 10. and you can see that that trade has been stopped. So it's a little bit of an annoying one, this one, because I can still see the potential for price to roll over still. The annoying thing about this particular setup was the stop wasn't fantastic. In that, you know, it was somewhat reasonable to expect price to come and want to test this green line. This green line is yesterday's high price. And the stop was literally, it was just maybe half a point above there. In fact, this has literally come as high as the stop, 71.8, 81.8, I think this was. Yeah, it's literally come to the stop, to the point. So a little bit annoying. Like I say, I can see this rolling over still. But that said, price has had more than enough opportunity to move past this ATMA. It's tested it 4 times before taking that stop. Now, that was never a good sign for the trade anyway. I was quite happy with the initial test and bounce. I was expecting that. And then when we started coming down again, I was thinking, okay, we're probably going to move past it this time. And then for a third and a fourth time, you're expecting, okay, finally we're going to break this ATMA. But that's just never happened. So it just shows you how strong the bullish momentum is at the minute, even up at this level. There isn't even room for a small bounce. What I was thinking we might see is maybe a test of like the pivot level down at this sort of area, and then maybe see a retracement, but we didn't even get that low. So interesting. I mean, we'll have to see what price does now. Obviously it is moving past this level. I would like to see it carry on moving up, I think, and then maybe try and take a long position from this band if it can break through it. The next band is up here, sort of 193 to 7202, so there's not a huge amount of room to the next band. But yeah, we'll just have to see, really. I don't want to be chasing this trade, and you know, if it sets up again, just short it again. I think if it was to set up short again from this band, I would need to see a break of the ATMA first before getting into it. So we'll see what happens. So we've just gone 10:15, and this is looking like one of those days where the market is trying to make you lose your shit. So I was talking about getting short from this band, obviously, and we took the short and got stopped. And I did say that there was the potential to take another short trade, but I would need to see the ATMA broken first. Well, it did eventually break the ATMA a couple candles after stopping me out, and basically didn't look back, and it came down. I know it's reacting now, but I was talking about this kind of level earlier across these highs. It's narrowly missed it, but it's got to that sort of region. Obviously my take profit would have been a few points above there. I can't say with any certainty that I would have got out of this trade at the bottom, but you can see the move happened, the one I was looking for. So it's just one of those things, like, you wait for a good setup, you've got enough to meet your threshold test for getting into a trade, which is what happened here, and then it has 4 attempts at trying to move down, doesn't do any of those ones, pops up for a little bit just to take you out, and then says, okay, I'll go in that direction. And it looks like the market's trying to mug you off intentionally. But that's just your interpretation of the price that you're looking at. You know, someone else will be looking at this market in a completely different view, with different analysis and a different take on it completely. And that's an important thing to remember, that the markets are not attacking you personally, it's how you are interpreting what they're telling you. So I know in the earlier days of my trading, I would have been so frustrated at this, because you think that someone else is sat on a computer somewhere else laughing at you. Like, they knew you wanted to get short, they waited for you to get stopped out, and then they've made the market go where you want to go. That's just some of the irrational things that you think when you're new to trading, and honestly it's not like that at all. So this is just one of those trades, really. Not much you can do about it, but the analysis was there. Price just didn't behave in the way that allows me to profit from it. So you move on. So we're sort of back in no man's land, really, between the two bands. Price isn't looking strong enough to break above this one, so this is a third reaction we've had at this level now. Granted, it is getting higher every time, but very marginally. So we'll have to see where it comes now. If it's going to come down, it'd be interesting to see if it could break this band. But that said, I wouldn't be amazingly excited about trying to short it below here. I would rather short it at its like current high level, which was up at this band, and I did try to. So we'll just have to see what happens as we go into sort of midday in this afternoon. But I'll keep watching. Okay, so we're coming up to 22.11. We're just sort of hanging around in the sort of no man's land between the bands. What I'm going to do is just call it a day here. I don't have tons of time today. I would quite like to get this video edited and uploaded, obviously. I'm also working on a trading strategies video that I would like to get finished. I've been meaning to do it for the last couple of weeks, so I want to get that done this afternoon, hopefully, if not tomorrow. I've got a pretty hectic weekend, so I'm not going to be able to do anything then either. So I'm going to wrap up trading for the video here. I probably will wrap up trading full stop, to be honest, for today. And I quite like the trade, to be honest, for the video, because it's for anyone that's done this for even sort of 3 to 6 months, I'm sure you've experienced trades like this, whereby you get into a trade, you get stopped out, and then almost immediately it goes in the direction that you wanted the price to go in. And I've seen so many traders and spoke to some traders where they actually think that the market is against them. And when you've been in that situation, you know, a few times, you can relate to what they're feeling. But you won't. I think people don't understand how daft it sounds at the time of saying it. I'm sure they'll look back, you know, the next day or whatever, and think that was a silly thing to think. Or at least I hope they do, because if I was to strip all of my analysis from this chart, it literally just is a move up and a move down. You know, it's how you interpret that price movement. You've always got to bear that in mind. Don't let yourself become frustrated just because of the price movement you're looking at. You know, no one is out to get you. The market's not running your stops and things like that. This is, you know, it's a zero-sum game. Some people win, some people lose, and if you're going to let yourself get wound up like that, you are going to lose more. I promise you that. You'll definitely lose more. This was just an unlucky trade. There just weren't enough sellers at this point as there were at this point. If I'd have waited, then fantastic. I might have made, well, I would have made some profit. It came down to the target that I was talking about. But that's not, you know, my trading plan doesn't say wait for a signal, then wait for another one, just in case that one doesn't work. I just wait for a signal, and, you know, 8 times out of 10 or whatever, that will work out. You know, that trade will come down when I want it to come down. So not every trade works. So yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but I just think that's the biggest thing that hinders newer traders, is themselves winding themselves up through whatever reason, and interpreting the market price as being against them is definitely one of those things. So if that's something you do, please know that it is not against you, and just slowly work on trying to not feel like that. You know, take yourself away from the charts if you're starting to feel like that, or whatever you find helps calm you down, keep you calm, keep you focused, and you know, make objective decisions in the market. Don't make emotional ones. But yeah, thank you again for watching. A losing trade today. I think it was about 8 points, 7 or 8 points, I think, in the end. So obviously the points total, as I've mentioned before, it doesn't really matter. You should be trading on percentages. This account is a small one, obviously, because we trade at minimum stake for the YouTube account. But it doesn't matter if it's an 8-point stop or a 28-point stop. It will always be 1 to 2%, and that should be the same for anybody that's watching. You know, manage your risk well, and go from there. But yeah, thank you again. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please do consider dropping a like on it, and if you haven't done already, please do consider subscribing. I do try to do these every week, and like I say, I do bring out other videos, like the one on trading strategies that I've got coming up. That will be part of the Trading Basics series, which is all about trying to make traders just more informed and knowledgeable. So give that a watch. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.